Q9409. In what altitude structure is a transponder required when operating in controlled airspace? A. Above 12,500 feet MSL, excluding the airspace at and below 2,500 feet AGL. B. Above 10,000 feet MSL, excluding the airspace at and below 2,500 feet AGL. C. Above 14,500 feet MSL, excluding the airspace at and below 2,500 feet AGL. The correct answer is B. At and above 10,000 feet MSL and below the Class A airspace floor, excluding the area at and below 2,500 feet AGL, a transponder is required. 9424. Pilots should state their position on the airport when calling the tower for takeoff. A. From a runway intersection. B. From a runway intersection, only at night. C. From a runway intersection, only during instrument conditions. The correct answer is A. Pilots should state their position on the airport, including the specific runway intersection they are located at, when communicating with the tower for takeoff. This helps the air traffic controller to have a clear understanding of the pilot's location and intentions. It is important to note that this requirement typically applies during both day and night operations and is not limited to specific instrument conditions. However, it's always recommended to follow the specific instructions and procedures outlined by the local aviation authority and the air traffic control services at the particular airport you are operating from. 9780. When flying in the airspace underlying Class B airspace, the maximum speed authorized is A. 200 knots, B. 230 knots, C. 250 knots. The correct answer is A. In the area beneath Class B airspace, no one is allowed to fly an aircraft at a speed greater than 200 knots. 8889. What restriction applies to a large, turbine-powered airplane operating to or from a primary airport in Class B airspace? A. Must not exceed 200 knots within Class B airspace. B. Must operate above the floor when within lateral limits of Class B airspace. C. Must operate in accordance with IFR procedures regardless of weather conditions. The correct answer is B. Each individual flying a large turbine-powered aircraft to or from a principal airport in Class B airspace must operate at or above the permitted floors while inside the Class B airspace's lateral boundaries, unless ATC gives them other permission. 8877. What minimum aircraft equipment is required for operation within Class C airspace? A. Two-way communications. B. Two-way communications and transponder. C. Transponder and DME. The correct answer is B. When operating within Class C airspace, aircraft are required to have the ability to establish two-way communications with the Air Traffic Control (ATC) facility responsible for that airspace. This means the pilot must be able to communicate with the ATC and receive instructions or clearances. Additionally, aircraft operating in Class C airspace are also required to have a transponder. A transponder is an electronic device that transmits the aircraft's identification and altitude information to the ATC radar system. The transponder helps ATC to identify and track the aircraft more effectively. While a distance measuring equipment, DME, is a useful navigation tool, it is not specifically required for operation within Class C airspace.